Hello to all my fellow injured people, injured on the job, or maybe just injured, maybe just want to check in and listen to see what I'm all about. Well, what I am is a injured worker, and I set up this channel, if you will, to reach out to other individuals in a similar predicament. That is, people who are injured, working hurt, or maybe you're in a situation where you're on the job, you got hurt on the job, and the boss, the company, has decided, of course, that it's more feasible to have you there than send you home and have WSIB support you directly. The reason for this is obvious, because if they do allow you to stay at home collecting a WSIB payment, their rates effectively will go up considerably. So it's far more worth their while to have you at the job, hiding, sitting in the corner, than at home collecting WSIB. So that's why they do that. And that's a situation I was in years ago. I had a torn rotator cuff that I sustained at work. And I spent, better part of 6 months with my arm in a sling. So you can imagine how useful you are at a construction site with an arm in a sling. Absolutely, no, can't do anything. There's really no light duty to speak of. So technically it's light duty, but especially on a heavy construction situation where you're working on the structure of the building, it's heavy construction. That's why it's called heavy construction. It's there is no light duty. So there's a few guys who can push a broom and that sort of thing, but when your arm's in a sling, you really can't do anything. So that was the situation that I found myself in years ago, and it's not a comfortable situation. Of course, it's not what you want to be in, but it's better than being out of a job. So they have to accommodate you, and it's really interesting how the attitude towards injured workers is if you're in that situation. It's very resentful on the part of the management, because you are there and you are taking a wage and they're getting nothing out of it from you, virtually nothing. So you're basically they look at you almost as a parasite. And this is not personal. It's just the way it is. You are a cost to them. And what happens is, the company, after an accident, especially what they deemed could be the company's problem, they draw the attention of all the agencies, the workers' compensation, and here in Canada and Ontario, it's the Ministry of Labour, the provincial government agency, which polices the job sites, polices any work professional situation, and they can be very heavy-handed. And what happens, a lot of big companies they'll hire consultants, safety consultants, and a battery of other companies who specialize in workplace safety only. So you have a lot of these people on the job. The company will have a safety rep, and then you'll have a union safety rep, and then you will have a bunch of safety consultants, if you will, who kind of walk around, and they work under contract to the bigger company to police the job site and give extra consultation to the shop steward there, or the company business safety rep. So there's all these cast of characters who are employed to answer the safety concerns of any company, or safety concerns of the government, essentially. So the government applies that pressure on the company to provide extra safe work conditions, or to adhere to and watch them and make sure they adhere to safe working conditions. And that is an added expense to the company, huge. And in this situation, they're forced to do certain things they wouldn't otherwise do because of the heavy hand of regulation and what could happen if someone gets hurt. And this can cause, as a result, extra headaches, extra pressure to the company, to the foreman, right down to the person running the job, where they have to meet deadlines. Then they're faced with other extra safety precautions and safety concerns that are enormous amount of pressure for a foreman. In the situation of a construction site, if he is working on a project and somebody underneath him, God forbid, would get maimed or worse yet, killed, unalived, that person will serve, the foreman will go to jail. Yes, he will go to jail for manslaughter or whatever the charge may be. So there's a huge amount of stress on that individual, and you could face with a deadline, but also have to maintain a safe job site. So I know what it's like to be in that situation where you're kind of there but not there, and you're trying to, it makes for a very long day, and it's not pleasant, and it's also, they kind of look at you as you may get less than favorable vibes from your foreman. And I just want to emphasize that, not to take that personally, but also don't give them any reason to make it personal. I've seen other injured individuals on the job will turn around and try to get into a pissing match with the foreman or the safety people, and they'll be belligerent. They'll be play the victim, and that only makes situations worse. Really, it's the old motto that my mother passed down to me, which was that quoted me, I thought was very smart. It was, better to be thought of as a fool than to open your mouth and remove all doubt. So that's my philosophy. And it's like if you're under arrest in any situation, and how it works in American law enforcement, anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. So if you're injured, consider yourself under surveillance of the law. You don't have any counsel, any representative except you. That you are your own best friend, but you can also be your own worst enemy. So that by that I mean, through your behavior, you can alienate and push people away and give them a reason to really jerk you around. So it's really important to maintain a good attitude, be patient, and not make the situation any more dire than it needs to be. But anyways, that's what I just want to drop in. We'll leave you guys with that particular thought for the day. It's a beautiful autumn day. Hockey season started. The Toronto Blue Jays have effectively eliminated the New York Yankees out of the playoffs. So now we're on to the ALCS. So yeah, there's a bit of excitement in the air if you're a sports fan. NFL football is in full swing. Great Thursday night game last night, Eagles Giants. But wow, those New York Giants! What's going on there? What's going on with the big the New York Football Giants? But this Jackson Dart, who is this kid? And this Scatabo guy. Look at this guy. Look at this guy, John Riggins. Yeah, well, it's a lot of fun. Anyways, those are the things that obviously injured people tend to focus on. You want to watch sports and that sort of thing. That's good. Always a fun diversion. But that's what I wanted to leave you guys with, and I hope everybody's doing as well as can be expected. And I hope that you all keep on keeping on and don't lose faith. And let's go through this work injury together, and we'll try and come out the other end better, stronger, and faster. All right, guys, have a great weekend. I'll talk to you soon.